Once again, hello,
Hello.
hello
Hello.
from the ghetto studio.
I
Good.
think this will be the last time, though. Maybe one more after this, but we have gotten things into motion as far as getting the studio proper up and running. Just have to wait on some moving parts, but
Yeah, had to order some new stuff. But yeah, should be good to go here pretty soon. And hopefully things will be back a little bit more to normal. But yeah, I guess things are kind of getting back to normal. We're doing the live stream at least every week now.
yeah.
We had said we were going to do a more of like a how-to today, but we're actually we want to get it a little bit more
Like we realize there's some
well planned out.
overwhelming response to the questions in there, and if you haven't answered it, it's on SEO Roundtable. But we've got a poll up asking what you want us to make how-to videos on, and I think it was how to use aged or expired domains got an overwhelming amount of votes. Chris is about to put it up. But yeah, if you haven't answered and you're interested in us going over some of this stuff, I think we're going to make videos involving just about anything. So go ahead and put it up there.
But yeah, lots of interest for domains, which I thought was weird. Because I feel like we don't really get that many questions about domains.
Yeah.
And then so I was thinking, well, maybe it's just because it started getting votes and then so more people voted for it.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. But yeah,
I would have thought PBNs actually probably had the most questions, or historically, I thought that was kind of what did. But anyhow, we are going to kind of, I think, get a good outline and make sure that we hit all the topics that kind of pertain to any of these how-to videos. So expect those to be coming up here pretty soon.
yes, sir. Yeah, I guess we'll just go ahead and start getting into the questions. If you're watching along, just ask questions in the chat and we will get to you. Yeah, we'll get to you. All right. Let's see. Guess I'll just start at the top here. All right. I have the keyword X, which I guess is just kind of like a general keyword. How many blog posts should I create to target that keyword page, and what kind of blog posts, i.e., where to buy X from? I guess we could look at this question a couple different ways. I'm not really sure what stage of the process you're talking about here, but you could just be talking about like the initial stages of keyword research, right?
Yeah, I feel like regardless, that's where we would start with this question.
Yeah, so I mean, you'd want to, basically type in your keyword and then start looking for other keywords with like search volume and stuff like that. There's a bunch of different ways to do that. I'm not going to make a big keyword research video right now. We've got keyword research videos that you can search for on our YouTube channel or our website. I was just going to make smash that like button joke, but I couldn't.
But do it, smash it.
Yeah, smash that like button if you think Nick looks good today.
Hey, oh.
Anyway, back to the topic.
Up.
But yeah, so you generally there's no set number of blog posts that you want to create about a certain topic. It's basically what keywords exist for that topic, and then if you're serious about that keyword or your niche or whatever, you're gonna want to probably cover all of them.
Now, mind you, I mean, like, be paying attention. Like, you're manually looking through these SERPs. You're manually checking that the same posts aren't showing up across SERPs, or you might get into keyword cannibalization. I think with like newer people, that's like one of the biggest things. They start conceptualizing, oh man, I'm gonna need like all these different posts based around this specific keyword, informational topics, whatever you can find, review. However, what you'll come to find is Google's got its own interpretation of this. And so if you see that there's a lot of overlap, so a lot of the same posts showing up on all these different SERPs, it means that's kind of what Google's registering, fits into all these into all these positions. And so you wouldn't want to come up with different posts to attack all of them. You'd want to come up with one post to go after the ones that it would resonate for. Having said that, an easier way to kind of get an idea of overlap within SERPs when you're doing keyword research is to use Surfer SEO's keyword research tool. It'll show you what percentages of websites have overlap inside of SERPs. Hopefully that's not too confusing, especially for like newer people, but we do, like Chris said, have tons of videos on where you want to start, which is keyword research.
Yeah. And like I said, there's no set number. You want to basically target all of them that make sense to target, and even probably the ones that don't make sense as far as getting sales, because then it's basically just supporting content. And not only is it supporting content, but it's more powerful supporting content if it has search volume, because then you're actually pulling in some more pretty targeted traffic. But yeah, so you want to do your keyword research, you want to explore the niche, you want to find all the keywords with search volume for that term. And then when I first heard the question, I kind of actually was looking at it a different way, and I was just thinking about supporting content.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's like, what if his keyword was already something that was a little bit more focused, like best toys for puppies,
Sure.
or something like that. For that article alone, you could maybe do 5 supporting content articles that have something to do with puppies and toys, that you might have not found before, or it might even be stuff that doesn't really have a ton of search volume, or much of any search volume, but basically just creating content that's something to do with toys or puppies, or something similar to that.
Something that's going to beef up relevance.
Yeah,
right?
and then you're linking back to the article that you'd wanted to create supporting content for, the best toys for puppies or whatever. I think he's probably asking more from the keyword research stage. So spend some time. Keyword research. Actually, I hate doing keyword research. It's my least favorite part of the process.
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like it's like the only part of the process you really have to use your brain. I feel like the rest of it is just, it feels easier.
Yeah, you're probably right. Keyword
once
research is like you want to make sure to rack your brain around that aspect.
Yeah.
Where the rest is a little bit more
and
forgiving.
you always have that feeling of like, what if I'm not like seeing something, or
Yeah.
finding the awesome thing, or then you have to go and it's just monotonous and checking all like, is this gonna can this article rank for 5 different keywords? Should I build a big article or a small article?
Yeah, if you're doing proper technical keyword research, then it's going to last a few days typically to set up like a foundation, and it's going to be combing through just nonstop data sets.
It's super important too, right?
Very, yeah.
'Cause I just feel like, as far as when you have that, that's like you're like designing the machine.
Yeah, that's true.
And then it's like after you get that, it's like, okay, you're just pumping out content, you're pumping out links.
I guess
we know how
that
to
is
do
like
links.
it's like the architect phase,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
you're designing what it's going to be.
Yeah, you have to map out like the whole structure of the
Yeah,
site.
and the rest is just figuring out the tools and kind of building off it. But
That's
yeah,
wild.
true.
Um,
I hadn't really thought about it, but now I might hate keyword research a
I
little
hate
bit
keyword
more next
research.
time it comes. I
hate
usually
it
see it
so
as like
much.
very explorative, and like it's interesting because a lot of times I won't have knowledge on a specific topic, and I might find new things I wasn't
I
aware
used to
of.
look at like that when I would do it before. I remember I would get excited because you just see all this opportunity.
Mhm.
But now, I don't feel that. I just feel like it's like, I gotta just make sure I do it right.
Things get
So I don't
monotonous
create
over
problems
time,
down the
yeah.
road, and get it all just good, and find all the good stuff,
Yeah.
and get it planned out perfect.
But listen, that doesn't mean you can skip anything. That means you got to go through it too. It's this it's a suffering part that's going to make sure that you're set up for success. So spend a lot of time on it. And I don't think there's a single live feed that we've done where we haven't talked about keyword research at some point in time. We say
Hey, if you
it all
like
the
keyword
time.
research, smash that like button.
Nice. And join our Facebook group. And subscribe. Yeah, we need subscribers. That's another one. Promotional. Yeah, I think I think we've covered that. We've got everything you could want to go over as far as keyword research, either on our website in the form of posts or in previous live feeds.
Okay. Yeah, and sorry for the corny subscribe jokes, but we're gonna start doing that more because we figured that
Excelsior.
we figured we should actually try to promote our channel and our videos and all that stuff. So,
And I mean,
well, we'll try to do it in a funny way, but it probably won't be that funny until we get the hang of it. So,
work in progress, right? You know,
sorry for the bad jokes in the beginning. All right. All right, let's see. All right.
I think that's that same guy.
This one?
No, what she was talking about.
Uh,
Oh,
all right, let's see.
never mind. Different.
All right, next one. If you're not checking your rankings 100 times an hour, are you really an SEO? Smash that like button if you check your rankings 100 times an hour.
Nice. Well, I think if you're checking them 100 times an hour, you're very new in your SEO journey. You haven't quite learned the timing of things and the patience needed to realize that SEO is a very slow moving train with a lot of different things that can happen in and of itself.
Yeah.
But I do check my
We
rankings
get it.
every day. I mean, pretty much every day, which I think
I
is
know.
still more aggressive than I should be.
I don't.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I still do.
I know.
It's just like something I do in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, once a day, still, it could be worse.
Yeah, once a day is still there's no need for it unless you're just kind of monitoring. Like a lot of times I'm also going through client rankings and stuff like that, but it's mainly just to get a feel for what's going on in the SERPs, right?
Yeah.
I'll know that if there's extreme volatility in SE ranking one day, we're monitoring hundreds of sites.
Yeah, so
then there's something going on, right? So we're
I might
investigating.
look in like SE ranking and just see if there's like a blip on the radar or something, but I'm not going through and really looking at stuff.
Yeah, I don't check Ahrefs probably but once a week.
Unless I'm
maybe.
like actively doing something, unless I'm like really basically if I'm doing something with like content reoptimization or I'm really like pumping some links to something or pushing something like harder than normal or whatever. But if it's like standard like day-to-day stuff, then yeah, I'm pretty chill about it now. But I used to check it, yeah, like multiple times a day.
Yeah, I mean, like when I first started, it was like that's what I considered work, was just looking at it and being like, okay, what's going on here? But checking your rankings is a very small portion of what you should actually be doing in SEO, which is actively using your time.
So I think everyone knows it's a waste of time, but I think what was more interesting was the thing you started talking about in the beginning, which was basically, if you're checking your rankings that many times a day, you probably haven't really like settled into or like become aware of or acquired the knowledge that tells you SEO takes a ton of patience, right?
Yeah.
And things move slowly. And yeah, so like, in a day you could, something catastrophic could happen or whatever. Your rankings could jump a ton. But in most cases, if something like and most of the time, if something moves around a lot on one day, chances are it's going to be back in the other spot the next day.
You're hitting a level of volatility, right?
But it could be an actual bad day, and could actually have a sustained ranking loss that started on that one day. But even then,
what are you
even
gonna
just
do
finding it that
checking
one day,
yeah.
so you have one more day, like one day, you're one day ahead or 1 hour ahead of the.
No, what you need to be doing with your time if you run into something like that is just get back on the horse. So backlinking campaigns, content campaigns, everything the normal site would need to continue onward. And if you're just checking your rankings and stressing out about things, then you're not going to be actively pursuing what's going to be the remedy to that situation. So be wary. Be wary.
But I think the most constructive thing we can probably say to this is just try to work on like your patience as far as SEO goes. If you drop from page 3 to page 4, no one cares.
It does not matter.
You shouldn't care either, because page 3 is nothing, right? You're getting no traffic from that, and anything, if it jumped from like if I was somewhere on page 2, like maybe this is a big term I'm really like working hard on, and it went from mid to high page 2 back to page 3 or 4, then I'd probably be like, what the, I might actually
that'll happen every now and again. There's just natural volatility before you get to page 1 and before like something's completely like established. I feel like you do get these movements back and forth, but you'll stress out about them, but you stick to work, right?
Yeah. And then let's say even if you're on like page 1, right? Well, like the page 1 rankings can actually move around quite a bit. Position 1 might go to position 3 one day, back to position 2 to 1. Especially in like more competitive stuff. I feel like stuff can move around quite a bit, right? And so, it isn't that one link you just built. It isn't the 2 keywords you change right away. It could have been that stuff, but what's probably more likely is that the algorithm, things aren't set in stone. Things do kind of bounce around, bump around, move quite a bit. Just look out for the big blips, and then if it stays the big blip for more than a day or 2 or whatever, then maybe look into it a little bit more deeply. But I know it's kind of a joke. We like to joke around about checking the rankings a lot.
But it's a common thing. Everybody that's getting in SEO, the learning to navigate, watching your rankings is it's its own thing.
Let's jump to this one real quick. We got one on YouTube. The Prussian Prince.
Welcome back. Another recognizable name.
Welcome back to the Prussian Prince. What is Prussia? Prussian. Do you know what Prussia is?
I'm guessing it's.
I'm actually gonna look this up. I feel like it's not Persia, which is what I was thinking of at first.
German.
Prussia. Okay, so it's like kind of. I'll just pull this up. So definitely not his question, but I guess this
we need some education. Yeah.
So it's kind of like north central-ish, kind of easternish Europe, Prussian area. I actually don't really know much about this area right here. Welcome back to the Prussian Prince. Let's see. He says it's an old country. Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. Definitely know it's not a country now, right? Well, actually, I don't want to say that because I'm American. I'm American. I don't know about this stuff. He asks, what SERP tracker do you guys use? We use SC ranking. There we go. Here's SC ranking. We're not affiliated or anything. I'm not even going to give them a really glowing recommendation because, to be honest, we haven't really tried out a bunch of the other stuff. It's just kind of what we've been on for a really long time.
I've used quite a few. Like I remember using SERP Fox, and then the other one that I used to use a lot was I can't remember, but it was a lot simpler than this. Like since I switched to SEO ranking, which was years ago, I haven't really stepped out of there. There might be something that's cool or something.
And it definitely, even this one has like a lot more stuff on it than we actually use.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we use it like in a pretty like basic way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's definitely got like a lot more to it. So I can't really, I don't, we can't really give you like a huge review for it or whatever. I don't even know which one. We definitely aren't on the small one.
We're on business.
On the big one, I guess. Okay. Yeah, it'll like you can like audit stuff.
Yeah, we use probably like 5% of what it's capable of doing.
Yeah, we pretty much just use it for like rank tracking. The coolest thing about this, and I'm pretty sure other things probably have it too, but my absolute favorite thing about the tracker, other than it doing the basic thing I want it to do, which is track keywords, is how it shows basic keyword cannibalization.
Yeah.
So it'll have a little symbol for the keyword that we asked it to track. And it'll say, well, hey, your website is ranking for this keyword on 2 different URLs or 3 different URLs. So then you can see really easily like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to want to maybe de-optimize, 1 or 2, whatever one that's, the ones are ranking for that shouldn't be. That's really the only way that I really keep up with keyword cannibalization these days.
Oh yeah. It definitely makes things easy. So SE ranking, I'd say we primarily use as far as like very targeted keyword tracking, but of course we use Ahrefs as well too, right? And even Majestic, I've got info in there, but I rarely check it. But yeah, Ahrefs is more of like a general kind of tracker that you can kind of see where you're going to be ranking, get ideas for where you might be popping up. But I also come to find that it's not the most reliable as far as what it's telling you. And so then you can kind of hone in on those things by using SE ranking or a tool similar to it. But with both of those, we've been able to paint a pretty good picture of what we're doing with all our campaigns.
One thing that I wanted to check out in SE ranking for a while that I haven't really is when you're creating a new project for a new site and stuff, I think it's talking about it right here. You can track your competitors' rankings as well.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think
we don't even do much of that.
The cool thing about that is, or for me at least, would be, if your website did take a hit or even a big bump, basically seeing what happened to the competitors as well. Good. So rather than like keeping tabs on, like, oh my God, he jumped up a space, or like he's beating. Like, I don't really care about that. I just focus on my site. But yeah, being able to add that to the audit.
Yeah, that's solid.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't really know the extent of it.
I mean, figure out problems whenever there's high volatility. It's like, okay, well, they're jumping, so what are they doing differently than me and the people that are failing, or vice versa, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
But yeah, it does a good job of tracking keywords. I guess if you've what is this?
We probably should hit them up about an affiliate or something, because it's like, I feel like we plug them.
We do plug them.
all the tools we use. It's because we use them. We're never here promoting something with an affiliate link.
Yet.
Yeah. Now we're open to it, but we have to like the product, and like we're not going to change how we do SEO.
If you want us to plug your product, smash that like button and then send us an email.
And there you go. We'll try it out, and if we like it, we'll promote it. But
yeah, it looks like they've actually got like super you can really. So like $31 is the cheapest, but you don't have to go to 1,000 next. You could just go to like 500 and it'll increase the price just slightly, which is pretty cool.
And remember, like, you don't have to track every single keyword that you're going after. A lot of them are going to be terms that are kind of related, and as you go up for like one of them, you kind of realize like you're going up for the group in general, right? And then you can kind of prod as you want too. So you don't have to, get every keyword in there. You can get a general scope of what you're doing.
Yeah. But yeah, there's other stuff out there for rank tracking. This is just the one that we're on. Yeah. Hope that answers your question. Let's see. What is next? All right. When considering local searches that include near me, is it as simple as adding near me in your content and keywords? That's definitely not something that I do. As far as I know, and the way I do things is that near me is basically it's a trigger word for Google, right? That triggers a proximity search. So if you're doing all the stuff you should be doing to optimize your a local website for local SEO, like you're doing your citations right, got like the address on the site, on the ranking pages and stuff. You're doing all the you've got your GMB. What's all the other big local stuff? Citations, GMB, address. Citations addresses all match and everything. They're uniform.
Yeah, services and areas, pages.
Yeah, and of course the normal stuff or on-page stuff like the page is optimized for the location term. If you're doing all that stuff, then the near me should just trigger a proximity search in Google. To do a proximity search to show the user the stuff that's actually closest to them. I think this was kind of like a spammier thing that people used to do a little while back, where they would like actually hammer like near me like onto their like on page.
Yeah. But so let's talk about that, like, right? Does that make sense? Like, would that be natural? Can you think of a sentence where you're talking about a service? I mean, I can think of a way to get around it, but it doesn't make sense. It's like, tea party near me, like,
like if anything, it would say near you.
Near you, correct. And so could you up near you and then it would resonate with Google crawlers understanding the opposite would be near me for a search? I feel like that's not too out there as far as thinking goes. As a matter of fact, I would venture to guess, that does work. But would I want to stuff that in there? No, but you can up the keyword density for that, and I think it would probably resonate okay. But overall, like Chris said, I think it's more based on proximity, and you're going to get more benefit out of being in the map pack, when it comes to something like that than stuffing near me in there.
Yeah, definitely not something I'd really be doing.
Yeah, I guess we can today.
Hello guys, how are you? Can you audit my site? Anch. I don't know how we're gonna get him to send it to us though, because he's on YouTube.
Oh.
Anch, are you in our Facebook group? Not sure what kind of delay we're working with here.
Yeah, I think today we might have a bit of one.
Let me know if you're in our Facebook group or if you're friends with one of us on Facebook. Because normally you don't want to like send your site publicly, right? Unless you just don't really care that much. But
or if it's like really new or something. But either way,
I guess it doesn't really matter that much. Yeah, if it's just a good idea not to do it publicly. It'd be better.
Yeah, I don't want to be held liable for.
Yeah, it'd be better to send us a private message on Facebook. Yeah, I'll wait for your answer on that, and we'll go ahead and do another question for now. Oops. Where am I? Okay, here we go. All right. Is a link from a YouTube video description worth anything in terms of backlink authority, or are they treated as do not follow? So no follow. I love YouTube links.
Yeah.
So YouTube links, we consider them pillow links. Which is basically it's kind of like natural stuff that anybody can really get this like pretty easily. Like anybody can go create a YouTube video. They can literally just talk into their microphone with a black screen and make a YouTube video, and then make the title of the video something relevant to your website, and then maybe drop links in the description, maybe to multiple pages on your website, which is very normal actually for people to do. And yeah, so we treat this as a pillow link, but YouTube is actually one of my favorite kinds of pillow links because I feel like Google looks at them very kindly.
Yeah, I feel like it's favorable, right? Like YouTube has a lot of authority. A lot of people use it. It's like the second most used search engine, I believe, right?
YouTube is no follow links though, right?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I mean, it has to be.
I haven't looked in a long time, but I'm guessing it is.
It has to be no follow.
But either way, that whole question, we've talked about that too.
But most
no follow
links,
is still worthwhile.
Yeah, most pillow links are no follow, and like Nick said, they're still very worthwhile. They're just, you have to look at them in a different way than you look at something like editorial links, which are, guest posts or niche edits, or
And
even
also,
PBN links.
Remember that it's, YouTube is very dynamic as a social sharing platform. So you also have likes that occur on certain videos. You have videos that get certain amounts of press in the form of backlinks. You've got everything, you want that can boost relevance and authority back to whatever you're trying to promote. In short, YouTube video description link is definitely worthwhile.
For sure. Yeah, no, they're, like I said, my favorite kind of pillow link. Smash that like button if you watch YouTube.
You're better at it than I am. I'm gonna get with it. It's good.
I think we just have to do them like
I want to
change
it though, not smash that like button, because then I saw another guy using that the other day, and
They
I'm
all
like,
say smash.
they all say smash. Like, we gotta come up with something that's like
gently press the like button.
It's nice.
Caress the like button.
It's not. I like that even better. That's good. Something to do with SEO maybe.
But yeah, we even the videos we're making like right now. So for example, we chop these videos up, we put them on YouTube, we give them good titles, and then we link to relevant stuff on our site that has to do with them.
Yeah, we're doing it. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's white hat. It's it ties the room together in the form of relevance, etc. So,
and then even for like extra bonus points, if you so if you have like an article about that specific thing, the same thing the video is about, then you embed the video onto your site, and then on the YouTube video, you're linking to that page as well. Then I feel it's like extra good.
Yeah, and then you're probably helping your YouTube SEO. Not probably, you are helping your YouTube SEO as well, and you're building the overall network of this website that you're trying to build out, and that helps build out your authority and your trust and your relevance.
Trust. So like you're showing Google, like, look at us, like we're this company, we're doing these YouTube videos that are the same thing about the stuff we got on our site, posting on the site, we're doing all this work, and we're doing it on Google properties, so it's like just like it's a main line of the relevance, like straight to the Google veins, right? I really like YouTube videos. I think YouTube videos can be like a huge addition for pretty much like any site, right? You could even just do like really like crappy stuff. Like you could,
if you've got an affiliate site and you don't really like have money or whatever, just like Chris said, get a black screen and just review whatever product.
Or you could, like, if you're real lazy and you want to get like real not spammy, but you could literally just do like robot text to speech of your article, and it'd just be like a picture on the screen or like a black screen or whatever. Like of course, it would be better to actually make a good video where you're actually trying to pull in like, traffic and views on that video and stuff. But I don't think it's like 100% necessary. Always better.
If it's not your passion project and you're just like doing this for traffic and to get yourself up in the SERPs.
Yeah, use the robot text to speech.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Smash that like button if it answered your question.
Nice.
Okay, let's see what's next. Have not heard back from Anch yet. Anch, if you're still here, send us a private message. I don't know if you're in our Facebook group, the SEO Roundtable. Just do a Facebook search for SEO Roundtable, and then find me, Chris, or this is Nick. You can find us and send us a private message with your site, and we'll review it and not show your site so that protect your privacy and stuff. What's next? Is traffic a ranking factor? I don't think so. Unfortunately, I don't think so with a question mark. I don't think so?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I only have around 20 to 50 new visitors every day. So I'll let you answer first.
Okay, so yes, it is a ranking factor.
Smash that like button if you think it's a ranking factor.
Yeah, nice. Or if you don't, just smash it.
Yeah.
But it is a ranking factor. But people talk about it in a lot of different ways. Now, is it an absolute must that you've got traffic to like an inner page of a backlink in order for it to help you? No. However,
I think he's just talking about a site.
Yeah, well, I know. I was going to go into just traffic in general. But what it is Google does read all this traffic, right? So like they're making sense of what the traffic is doing as far as choosing your site over another site, or if they go there, how much time they spend on things, what your click-through rate is, etc. And so this traffic becomes a variable that, yes, it's going to be something that's taken into account whenever you're being chosen over another site or another site's being chosen over your site in the SERPs. So is it a ranking factor? Absolutely. However, do you need traffic in order to make something rank or be completely valuable? No. There's a lot of let's say long tail keywords that add up to like near no traffic that, hypothetically, you just put up a post on even like a newer website that hasn't been resonating for anything, and you might be able to target something like that. But that's just to say, like, it's not going to be a valuable term, but it's something that, a newer site would be able to go after before it's got traffic or before Google like trusts it.
Well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about a site getting, maybe it was like something on TV.
Uh-huh.
And then it starts getting crazy amounts of traffic.
Mm-hmm.
With no back, they didn't get any link from that. It was basically like something on TV where someone's like, "Oh, check out sirlinksalot.co/niche edits."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. And I've never seen just that.
Yeah, it's hard.
Is the thing. I'm trying to think of one time, and I've never seen just that, because usually press follows along in some way, shape, or form if you're doing some kind of TV blast or radio blast. But Google does read that traffic that's going to your site, and they make sense of that information. So regardless, if there's no information that Google can read, so it's like something like you said that doesn't have to do with the internet, so advertising off the internet that does lead to traffic to that website, then it's still going to be factored in some way, shape, or form. Now, if that's a Fiverr gig and you're targeting somewhere in Ohio, but you've got all this Indian traffic going to a local website, it's probably going to skew your website's performance. But if it's actually targeted, right? So typically radio or TV is going to be within a geographic location is how you pay for it. So you're going to get that targeted traffic, and so that geographic relevance is going to pass as well. So there's a bunch of variables that can be tracked and traced via traffic that goes to your website, and all of that's going to be taken into account, just same way as anything else.
I also want to add that, so I would say traffic definitely can be a ranking factor. I just feel like it's pretty like hard to really like quantify that, if it makes sense. But you also think about this, like for example, if a site is ranking number one for something, they will be getting the most traffic from Google for that term. So it'd be kind of like this like self-fulfilling prophecy in a way, where the sites that are ranking higher are going to pull in more traffic, and thus will make them rank higher.
Right.
So it'd be like harder to like de-rank them, or
So
like,
yeah,
to unseat them.
I remember Greg was talking about that on an OMG, where he was like, and once you get like your website to a top position, even if you've spammed it out, but it's like getting traffic over time, a lot of times it'll just stay there based on the use case that the page itself has. However, I think in like more recent times, like we were talking about earlier in this feed, there is a lot of movement on the first page typically, especially for more competitive keywords. So you might notice like, on specific days, you're number 1, 2, and then like you'll drop down to the middle of page 1 or something like that. And I feel like what's going on there is a prodding and testing by Google, to kind of see how different websites fare. But yeah.
Yeah. I'll just add that instead of thinking about traffic as a ranking factor, I guess it's not really the same thing, but what I would kind of pay more attention to is how your website performs when you put it in, when traffic actually gets to it. So, you're looking at stuff like, your click-through rate or like bounce rate. So obviously you want people to actually click through to it. It's a clear indicator that, you're showing Google that people actually, when they search for something, they see your title tag and they say, hey, that's what I'm actually looking for. And then the, bounce rate. So did they instantly just go back to the SERP, or did they actually stay on your site and do something? I feel like I would look at that more than traffic, more like the user experience kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was just kind of thinking about it, like, based on what you said, it's like traffic can be more of a kind of like a trust thing, especially how the traffic uses your website is going to influence, how trustworthy or, useful your website is as well. So, maybe in terms of using traffic like you would like a backlink for power, you can't really think of it that way. It's more, once the traffic hits your site, it's how, like Chris said, how they use your site. It's going to help dictate where you stand.
Yeah. Because traffic, you can think about it this way, traffic is more like the reward for ranking.
Right.
So I feel like it's not so much like the ranking factor, even though I feel like it is kind of packing it in some kind of roundabout way.
I mean, like, once you've got an authority site, though, and it's got massive amounts of traffic, right? Like,
But
then
it's
like...
But then it also has massive amounts of other stuff, like massive amounts of backlinks.
Yeah, it's just a whole picture.
Yeah, there's so much more going into it. It's hard to really pin it down. But yeah, I think we pretty much covered that as much as we can.
Yeah. It'd be cool to find an example of a website that doesn't have anything but natural traffic. But I mean, like, you can fake an experiment like that, but it's not really going to resonate the same way.
Prussian Prince says...
Yeah, that's fine.
Says if Ansh doesn't send his website, can you audit his website? Yeah, we can audit anybody's website.
We usually don't if we're getting a ton of questions. But today,
Actually, the audits do really good for views and stuff.
then let's go. Come on, bring them down. We'll audit them. We'll audit them.
Smash that like button if you
So
want to.
we-
Hey, yeah, we'll audit your site. But you gotta smash that like button.
Yeah.
And subscribe.
Smash
Turn
and
that.
subscribe.
Yeah, Push and Prince or anybody that wants us to do an audit. Send. I guess you can search for my name. Here, search for me on YouTube or on Facebook. Sorry. Or then we have Nicholas Altimore. Yeah, so search for us on Facebook. Send us a private message with your website, and we will. Yeah, we'll
Send it to Chris right now. I don't have my computer up.
yeah. Hopefully, you should be able to find me. I think I'm the only one with that name on.
I might have
on
mine set
Facebook,
for private.
I'm literally like the only person with that name on Facebook, so yeah. And let me know in the YouTube just in case I don't see the message. Just go ahead and let me know on YouTube if you sent it over, and then yeah, we'll get to it. Try to do it kind of soon though, because we are kind of starting to run a little bit low on time. Let's see what's next. All right. Does it matter to Google how old a domain is, and that's why I rank so badly? There's probably a million reasons why you rank badly.
Yeah.
But you know, so age
factor.
I don't think age itself is a ranking factor. It's more like once the website's been up for a while and it has some links, basically Google knows that it's there and it's established kind of a spot for itself.
I was thinking about this question earlier. Basically, it's like a website is born, right? So like a person is born, and then it grows up, and the more times it goes to jail, the more it's got like a bad rap, and the harder it becomes to age well, or like to get a grip on things. Maybe an exaggeration. Anyhow, but with the website, it's the same thing. New website comes on the scene. It's immediate interaction with backlinks, traffic, content, everything that goes into building a website. Becomes its identity, especially to Google crawlers. And then all of this is categorized for the history of the website, right? And it's kind of put into different neighborhoods. So does a clean slate on a domain that's been registered for 15 years have value? Absolutely. And if it has had like a clean slate, so to speak, in the form of like not being spammed out, not being used for nefarious practice, etc., things that can be traced by Google, then it's going to be a more solid foundation than something that's newer, and so it'll just kind of like break a sort of trust flow. But ultimately, yeah, it's factored in, but it's not going to have any real. Unless you got like a completely, maybe you bought a used domain that was completely spammed out, which is funny because you could even take those a lot of times and resonate well with them. But yeah, it's most likely not why you're ranking badly.
The only real thing I look at age with these days is like, is it a fresh site or is it not a fresh site?
Sure, yeah.
Like, has Google really started to realize what the site is about,
Mm-hmm.
or is it still kind of like in this like discovery stage where, back to your baby analogy, ain't no one calling the baby. The baby don't have a phone yet.
No,
he doesn't have
yet.
any friends.
Mm-mm.
So like he's got to grow up a little bit before things kind of start getting more connected, and he becomes a part of the world, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess some people would call the sandbox. I think we look at it. We don't really look at the sandbox in like a a very like as like a very concrete thing with like strict rules and ways to get out of it. It's more so you start adding content, you start building links, and
But
people
like,
start calling your site more.
so one of my main affiliate sites, that one, it's been aged since, or like, so registered since, it's one of my oldest domains I've ever had. I can't remember exactly. It's an old domain though. But when I first built it out and started using it, it still took a solid like six months or so to resonate, like, where I wanted it to in the SERPs. Like it wasn't like it hacked all this trust by being old and having
How many URLs did it have?
over 500 referring domains. It was a
But
massive site.
how many URLs did the site have indexed
Oh,
in the
well,
beginning?
when I first bought it, I just did an archive rebuild, which I'm sure didn't help things out. Lots of broken links, etc. And then I put like a 5-page kind of affiliate sniper site on it just to hold it in the SERPs for a long time. And so for a long time, it was just kind of like this dead, useless website. But then once I actually started working on it, probably put up within the first month, probably had, I don't know, 10 to 15,000 words on it, all targeted. I don't know how many pages that added up to, but it was quite a few. And then I probably did that a solid 3 months before I really got this just straight up into the moon kind of ranking.
Yeah.
But it still helps tie the room together. There's no doubt about it. But
So yeah,
there's
if
still
you
like
got
a
this
wait
old
period.
domain, and it's had like basically 0 pages indexed, but it's like old,
You're not just gonna auto rank.
it's a newborn, more or less.
Yeah.
Even though it's old, it's the
The
40-year-old virgin.
yeah, but the old stuff will eventually
It's not
start
like funny
resonating
if you
again.
like the movie The 40-Year-Old Virgin,
Or if you don't,
or if you're a virgin.
like Chris.
Sorry, where are we going with that?
I don't know.
I interrupted you.
No, I think we answered that really. An age domain can serve you well, but it's still got to be a domain that looks alive. You can't just spam out an age domain or something like that and automatically get rankings. So.
Yeah. Yes, hopefully that answers it. Prussian Prince and Unch, both of you have not got any messages from you. So yeah.
We'll do them next week, or if y'all send them in to us, we'll do them next week.
All right, looks like we got another one here on
So
YouTube.
I think it's our last question.
Oops, I accidentally clicked the wrong button. Is that gonna bring up video games? Okay. All right. So this is from YouTube.
It's a similar question.
Do you know this person?
I don't think so.
Okay, this is Chen Pauling Loon. All right. How many info articles are good for a site to be doing well? There's no really set number of informational articles that you need for a site to be doing well, right? It's going to depend on your on your niche, really, right? So like, what's the purpose of your website? How many different keywords are you really targeting? So obviously you're going to want to, have a new article for each, well, can't really say for each keyword trying to target, because some keywords might be kind of clustered together and might rank better on a single article. We kind of talked about this on a different question a little bit earlier. You basically want to do your keyword research well, right? And kind of map out basically what you want the structure of your site to look like with all the articles that you want to write or have written. And then, once you have all your basically your site structure planned out with your very important articles and stuff, then you can even do like more informational content on top of that for stuff that doesn't really generate traffic, but it can just be kind of stuff that's tangentially associated with those keywords to kind of help give them some more relevance. Yeah, hopefully that answers the question. Do you have anything to add to that?
There's no, for anything in SEO, there is no set amount of anything that will give you the answer you want. So like there's no set amount of informational articles, money articles, no set of backlinks, no set amount of traffic, nothing like that. What you're doing is painting a picture for Google that says this is what this is about, and it is the authority on this subject matter. Oh, nice. So yeah, like Chris said, you know, you're going to want to do your keyword research properly, and then, you know, go from there. So look for overlap, make sure that you're not, you know, coming up with a bunch of informational articles that are going to cannibalize each other. That was an issue that I had when I was, you know, an earlier SEO. But yeah, like we said in the, I think first or second question of this live feed, it's all based off keyword research. And so, you know, if you're not too familiar there, we've got a ton of information on keyword research on our website, as well as on YouTube too.
All right. All right.
Hope
So
that
yeah.
helps.
So the last thing we're going to do today, since we're running out of time, is we've got a site audit. And so I'm not sure if this was Ansh or Prussian Prince who sent this one over, but we're going to be auditing whoever sent us the site to audit. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and let me pull up something on Ahrefs so I can just give you guys something to look at while we're kind of diving into stuff. Not going to be too much that we're able to audit on this one, to be honest with you, but we'll take a look at it. Oops. All right, guys, so this is the site we're going to be auditing. As you can see, it's got a very low DR of about 1.7, which makes sense. We're looking at Ahrefs, by the way. So it's got a very low DR, which makes sense given that it only has 2 referring domains, 13 historical referring domains, but only 2 really live right now, at least that Ahrefs is saying are important. It's only got about 36 organic keywords. Yeah, so you know this DR of 1.7 makes sense given that it's basically got 2 links. Organic traffic 1 a month, which also you know makes sense because you know you're not really ranking for anything when you have 2 backlinks. And organic keywords 36. So this is good. So you know the organic keyword 36, it's not that high. But it's showing that Google basically is starting to kind of understand your site's about something, right? And it's letting it rank, you know, not high, but it's letting it rank somewhere.
Putting you somewhere, yeah.
It's starting to put you on the map and figure out what your site's about. Before we dive into the audit, I'll just go ahead and say, well, I guess it really depends what kind of audit you're really looking for. But at this stage of the process, I wouldn't really be looking for an audit at all. I would just continue.
Well, let's check out his on page now.
I would just continue, like, you know, cutting out content and building new links before I really took any like hard look at anything. But yeah, we'll go ahead and dive into it a little bit deeper. We'll just go ahead and say the site is kind of like in a sports niche type thing.
Review website.
It's actually a very small site. It's only got 21 URLs that are indexed on Google right now. So yeah, it's a very, very small site. It's basically just at the very beginning, right? Looks like it's got some kind of like instructional type stuff, instructional articles, like how to do things. Then we got some like best articles. They're more, you know, like affiliate style.
This is URL best. So like, you know, these are all titled best whatever. This is slug also best. Oh, no. Okay, good.
So yeah, we're taking a quick look at the site really quick, just to kind of get a quick look at what he's doing with his on page and
Yeah,
just how the site's laid out.
all looks fine at a glance. I'd say things look fine, right?
I will say you might want to change up your title and your H1 a little bit. They look like they're pretty much the exact same thing. You'll just get more bang for your buck if you make them a little bit different. You can use pretty much similar keywords but change their order and stuff, or just say things that mean the exact same
Yeah,
thing.
best, top rated, favorite.
Instead of like for beginners, you could say that for newbies or something. But yeah, you just change things up a little bit.
Yeah, but overall, there's, like Chris said, there really isn't anything to audit here. I mean, like, it looks like you've got a good understanding of how to build out a website. So this all looks fine. It looks like you're probably targeting some keywords that are fairly competitive. You might want to go after some longer tail keywords here at the beginning of your journey. But yeah, and then it looks like you've got, I think blog comments maybe, or blogspot comments or something. But you're gonna want to pillow this site and really just get a backlink campaign going. You're at the entry point of this stage, and you just have to keep going.
The only links that I'm seeing look like very like low quality. I'm not sure if you did these or if you paid like some on Fiverr for them, or if they just naturally popped up. But definitely not really the stuff you want to be building. You're at the very beginning. You could do stuff like pillow links. I feel like I literally bring this up on every show we do, but so pillow links, we sell packs of them. Pillow links can mean there's many different kinds of pillow links. But basically what they are, they're white hat links that anybody can create if you've got the time and know how to do them. Stuff like citations, niche directories, forum profiles, social profiles, Web 2.0s, social signals. We also sell another pack, diversity links, which are also pillow links. They're just a little bit more work goes into these ones. So Q&A links, stuff could be on sites like Quora or whatever. Audio links, video links. Video link would be like a link from sites like YouTube. Slideshow links, Web 2.0s. These are all just different types of pillow links you can get. We like to do a good amount of these in the very beginning of the building process for a site. Then you don't have to go crazy with them. Like if this was my site, I'd probably just get like a pillow or a diversity pack, and then I would start slowly building stuff like niche edits and guest posts to the homepage, natural anchors only, branded anchors, URL anchors, generic anchors. Same with your pillow links. Don't do any exact match. Don't do keyword anchors. Just do branded and URL anchors. Building just to the homepage for now. That's pretty much. So yeah, I would just keep adding content. Add some more. You could even don't make all your content the stuff that's based on these affiliate articles. In one of the most recent or more recent algo updates, sites that were pretty much only doing stuff that's like best blah 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 seemed like they really took a hit. So we're advising people to do try to do like 50% of the content on the site, basically not pushing affiliate links, basically just some kind of informational content designed to help the reader rather than just make money off affiliate offers, right? Keep adding content, keep adding your affiliate articles, keep adding some supporting content that's not necessarily selling anything, just stuff that's related to it, and you can then link to your affiliate articles from. Build a nice handful of pillow links if you haven't already. You might have already done the pillow links. The thing is that a lot of the times they don't show up in Ahrefs because it's just Ahrefs doesn't really see them as important. super important links or whatever. So they might actually be there. We might just not be seeing them. And then, yeah, after that, just slowly start adding stuff like niche edits and guest posts to your homepage, natural anchors. Don't really see anything out of place or wrong here. It just looks like you're at the very beginning of the journey, right?
Yeah, but it looks like you've got a good understanding of what you're doing. So yeah.
Anything else to add?
Mm-mm.
No? Good.
That's simple.
All right. I think I want to make sure. Check one thing real quick. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and call it there, guys. Thanks for showing up this week. I think next week we're gonna try to do some more like some how-tos, maybe on something related to domains or PBNs. We'll get it planned out a little bit better.
Yeah, we actually have a lot of videos. We need to just do a whole studio day, really, if we think about it.
We could do that. We could do it live if we wanted to.
Yeah. That might.
But we also probably want to wait for the studio to get set up if we're going to do those as well.
For sure.
All right. But yeah, smash that like button if you liked the live stream.
We need to change it.
Smash the like button if you can understand what I'm saying right now. Just smash it. And yeah, thanks for coming out. Thanks for answering your questions. Hopefully we helped, and we will see you next week.
Yeah.
Later.